Hi, everyone, and welcome to the new edition of QGIS Talks. My name is Hugo Fiber, and I'll be hosting this session today. And it's great to be here and chatting about information management and the challenges and the IT solutions that would help you throughout the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions by the end, we'll have a moment with Q&A. So without further ado, let's just So as mentioning right now, we were going to be talking about document management, business process systems, and also information management, and what's the difference between a document management system and an information system as well. So QGIS has a wide variety of experience dealing with information systems and management documents in general. And depending on, here are some examples of some of these projects from the National Assembly in El Salvador, where you can imagine, the bills that come into the floor and, all the information that needs to manage that process, but also the Portuguese army, for example, where the levels of confidential of the information are significant, or universities, with also their documentation and production of information regarding innovation and so forth. So these are just some examples, and you can check them on our website and our references as well. Some system key points, so some basic information of how does this system operates and what's important when you're looking into an information management software. So we identified a couple of points that we think are key. One of them is dematerialization, so ensuring that the systems, that you're able to manage documents and the information in different formats and supports, and they can be indexed according to your own needs. So ensuring that not only you're turning into a virtual way, but you're also making sure that all the forms or indexes that you need to do are able to do. The second aspect that we think is critical when running this business, which is ensuring that you have process. So all documents need to be organized either in process or folders, depends on the terminology you use, and that can be, sent in a workflow or in a document. And this is extremely important because sometimes we want to automate as possible and have all the workflows, but we also want to ensure that softwares have the capability of having ad hoc ways of managing the documents of the process and the folders throughout the organization. And sometimes the workflow is not the best way, and in most cases it is, but make sure that the software has those two capabilities at least. Then it's search. Now you've created all this process, you structure all your information, all your documentation, but now you need to access it. You need to access it in a fast way. So you want to ensure that it's possible to search the system using metadata or content of documents, but also ensuring that all the information is limited according to the profile of each user. So that's also key into searching the information. So not only I can make it digital, I can organize it, and then I can search on it. And then we can go a little more details on the workflows, as I was mentioning before in the process. So workflows, that you ensure that there's a streamlined process that, you can forward it inside or outside of the organization in a digital format. And in that way, the workflows can also have workflows inside of them, like kind of like an inception of workflows. So, which is also something, useful sometimes when you're managing the processes from where the document goes and where they came from as well. Then certificates. So certificates are extremely important because we want to ensure that the quality, the qualification of the signatures and the validation of that process is also built within the system. So we want to make sure that digital certificates can be used in the system to sign processes and documentation within those systems to ensure that those documents are not only correct, but they're also digitally signed in some aspects as well. Then let's switch into security. So of course we want to ensure there's the control of the access of the information throughout the different levels of confidentiality of documents and also user profiles. Not all users will have access to the same documents. You might have confidential information, you might have board information, and ensuring also that your software has an audit trail capability to ensure that all user actions that manage a particular document, or if they view it or if they sign it, you do have access to it. So these 6 aspects are extremely important. And that's why we sometimes have this conversation about, we're not talking about just of integrating, management of documents. We're also talking about information management. So we want the information to be integrated and not only the documents. So just get one case study. As you can imagine, the Portuguese army does have a particularly high level of confidentiality. So that's one of the challenges, ensuring that the right documents are not accessed by someone in the chain of command that shouldn't have access to it. So ensuring that the chain of command is always there, and there's confidentiality in some of the operations that they are done, especially in context of wars, etc. Also, there's a high volume of circulation of information throughout the system itself. As you can imagine, this is for the whole army of the Portugal. So a lot of different regions, areas are part of using the system and operating with it. And the other challenge that they had in this implementation was to speed up the process and procedures while doing documentation. So ensuring those workflows are built in the most efficient way to ensure that we have timely information at the point of our fingertips as we need it, when we need it, because it's crucial in terms of the business of managing an army. I'm just going to go down a little more detail into the information access control, just because, for example, for this project was particularly important. Because we want to ensure that the access not only to the document itself, but all the metadata that the document has is guaranteed, not only by access levels, but also through ensuring that different levels of confidentiality of each document. So ensuring there's a stratification of those levels. Also ensuring that admin roles have the possibility of configure, if necessary, individual access permission for each document or process / dossier. The audit trail, as I was mentioning as well, to ensure that there's a control of all the documents and they're protected by default, and there's a history of all the versions that are kept in the system as well. So all added information, all changes, all deletions, they are recorded in the logs, and it's also possible to activate, other areas of the information as well. So confidentially, we can just, basically do a mapping of 3 levels, like, top secret or secret, as we all seen in those stamps of those documents, right, in red. Confidential information, so it might be a secret documentation, but might be restricted. And unclassified documentation that can just be available, or information that can be available to anyone in the organization or in a subset group of people. We also have different levels in the system that the system gives permission automatically, like the level of permission increase if one owns a document or receives it. However, in the admin side of it, you can specifically limit the access of a document and or give public access by authorizing or unauthorizing permissions. So the level is different in those regards. Yeah, and that was it. I hope it gives you a brief view of what are the possibilities and what we should be looking for when we're talking about an information management system, and also give you an example of a case study. If you have any questions that you might have, please leave a comment in the chat, or you can contact us at solutions@quijust.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Also, stay in contact with us through our website and our social media platforms. And also, thank you very much. And right after this, we're just going to be doing a brief product demo where all this information that I was talking about that the system should have, you're able to see it. So you're able to see it right now, the Quijust information management software solution. And by the end of it, if you do have any queries, make sure to send it to us. Thank you very much for watching this Q Talk, and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you. Okay, so this is the information management portal, and right on the right side, I can see my notifications, and I can see the ones that are from me, the ones from my team, and also from the dispatch team as well. So I can easily operate from here. I also have access to the dashboard, so I can check how many incoming different types of documents are coming in for each teams or each departments, processes also. I can check records straight away here, the last entrance of records information, and some other charts to give you some idea or dashboard feel and look as well. So there's a lot of different information right here. By going in, for example, why do I need to do? Of course, I can go through and look at, income records, search by the documents that I have, either if I'm using a classification or an index term, or just, going throughout my whole database, searching of dynamic fields or any particular favorites that I might have. But the pending task will give me access to my direct to do. So either I need to sign a document or I need to check where it's for an information that has reached the team and it needs some treatment. I can also see all the forwardings that happened. I can check all the processes that I have on the organization as well. See all the outgoings for dispatch, all the archive of documentation or deleted documentation as well, and also be able to extract some statistical information about how many forwards and how many documents I have, how many folders or combination of information that I have sorted on the system. So let's quickly go in here and check. So as you can see, my team has 112 documents to forward for approval. Some are expiring with a deadline. I have 8 that I need to work on. So let's just jump into those 8. So this is a unified visualization of the documents, and I can easily download the document here. In this case, there's no attachments, but I can download here the document. I can also see in which step of the workflow that document is. Right here, I have basic search fields that give you, for example, the ones that I need to have action, which are these 3, or the ones that I need for information, which I'm just consulting on this particular process, which is in this case the software license. So I can see all of them. And let's go into for action, for example. So I just can click here to see, okay, for this project in particular, what are the details of that document in particular, what information, which process this belong to, if there's an index classification of the document as well, if there has been forwarding. So it has been forwarding from this person from BG to FA, and then from FA to BG as well. So it gives that notion, and can be forwarding by a particular workflow, where the physical archive of that document is, if there was any meeting where it was discussed, and just a general observation field about that document in particular. And here I can just go in and say, okay, which action do I need to do? Is it at the end of the workflow? Is it not at the end of the workflow? Do I have to do any task afterward, or it's going to be ending or closing that particular workflow? And here I can check, what are the steps of this particular workflow. This one is very straightforward. But then in some cases, they're not as straightforward as we're seeing. So, there might be some approvals in the processes as well. So this is a very quick overview about what can you do in this information management portal. If you want to have more information, just check the website or get back to us. Thank you.